Hello guys, this is my Chaos Your Nightmare reroll guide, where I'll be going over the reroll process of the game, but also what teams to run at the start of the game for the 5-star units that you pull and how you can upgrade the teams as you pull more units. We're currently past a week since the game's release and I've had much more experience in both playing and building teams in the game, so I wanted to share this information with more people. For starters, let's talk about why you would want to reroll now. If you start from the time of this video being uploaded, we get 33 standard pulls in the mail in addition to 2300 crystals. These pulls are enough for you to get your guaranteed 5-star from the new captain banner, or do around 3 to 4 multis on the new captain banner and 1 multi on the Haru banner. Let's quickly talk about the reroll process in Chaos Zero Nightmare. Currently the reroll process is pretty straightforward. You're going to need to complete the tutorials in chapter 1 up until part 3. This should take you about 15 to 20 minutes if you use the fast forward button. Once you're done with part 3, you'll be able to go into the main menu of the game and access the mail and the gacha banners. If you're not satisfied with your account, you can go into the settings and reset your account. I would also recommend to log into an actual account and not to use a guest account unless you're planning on multi-instance rerolling, since there's currently an issue with guest accounts being deleted. There are currently 2 ways to go about rerolling. For bold, you'll want to use your standard pulls we got from the mail to pull on the discounted banner, which you only get 1 5-star from, so if you hit your 5-star early you can move on from the discounted banner. Once you've used up your standard pulls, if you want to pull for the featured character, which in this case we have Haru, go ahead and do so. If you are displeased with your results, you can just continue with the reroll process. The other option you have is to pull all in on the discounted banner till you get your 5-star and then move on to the standard banner. Since in this game only seasonal characters are going to be limited and every other featured banner is going to move to the standard banner, there is value in pulling on the standard banner. Before talking about what teams you can start running for the 5-star that you pull, I want to quickly talk about the 2 main 4-star units to look out for. The first and most important unit you want to get that isn't in your starting roster is Cassius. Cassius, I would argue, is the best support in the game. What he lacks in healing, he makes up for it in his card cycling, buffing and debuffing. I would say his only con I would say, other than his lackluster healing, is that you might get bad quest RNG depending on what team you're running. For example, getting the quest straight where you need 0, 1, 2 cost cards used in a Renoa team who doesn't really have any 2 cost cards to cast other than Cassius's. The other 4-star to look out for is Nia. Nia is one of the options if you're looking for someone to help cycle your deck, specifically by discarding and drawing cards as well as playing them out for free, but also has a bit more healing compared to Cassius. She also has a mechanic when she gets a certain amount of decibels, she makes one of your units do an extra attack. Now let's talk about the 5-star units that you might pull and what teams you can run them with. I'm not familiar with Kayron, Rin and Hugo compared to the other ones since I do not have them pulled, but I will still give my most informed opinion about this. For Luke, your starting team would be Luke, Ray, Mika. For Luke, your starting team would be Luke, Ray, Mika. Ray can be replaced by Lucas. Mika can be replaced by Ray at M2 or Cassius. Mika can be replaced with Ray at M2, Cassius or Nia. For Khalipe, your starting team would be Khalipe, Amir, Mika. Amir can be replaced with Magna or Haru, who both have synergies with Khalipe's Haven tag on her cards. Mika can be replaced with Nia or Orlea. You can also replace Amir with Beryl if you're running Orlea. For Magna, your starting team would be Magna, Tressa, Mika, with Tressa being your main DPS in this team. You can also replace Tressa with Maribel or Khalipe if you pull either one of them and run a double shielder team. And once again, Mika can be replaced with Nia or Orlea. For Orlea, your starting team would be Orlea, Tressa, Ray, with Tressa once again being your main DPS. You can replace Tressa with Beryl, who synergizes well with the retain tag along with Orlea, in which case you'll want to replace Ray, who's there to buff Tressa, with either Cassius or Nia. And once again you can run Khalipe Magna as well. For Rin, your starting team would be Rin, Ray, Mika. Note that there is some anti-synergy in here, as Rin wants to be the only one to use attacking skill, so you want to remove Ray's attacks Teammate alternatives are Magna or M2 Ray instead of Mika as your sustain, and Veronica, Cassius, or Nia instead of Ray. For Mei Lin, your starting roster would be Mei Lin, Owen, Mika. You can replace Owen with Maribel, Selena, or Veronica. Selena and Veronica being the better replacement as sub DPSs. And then you can also replace Mika with Maribel, M2 Ray, or Nia. For Veronica, your starting team would be Veronica, Tressa, and Mika, with Tressa being your main DPS and Veronica being there to cycle Tressa's cards. You can replace Tressa with Maribel, Selena, or Mei Lin, similar to the Mei Lin team. You can also run any other main DPS in this slot who would benefit from Veronica's cycling, such as Rin, Hugo, etc. Mika can be replaced with Nia, Maribel, and Cassius. For Renoa, your starting team is Renoa, Ray, Mika. You can replace Mika with Cassius or Nia. You can also replace Ray with other sub DPSs such as Veronica or Luke or Hugo. However, I haven't had the chance to try those. For Hugo, your starting team is gonna be arguably one of the best teams in the game right now, Hugo, Tressa, Mika. Mika can be replaced with Nia or Cassius for more cycling. However, Tressa is currently Hugo's best partner and helps clear a lot of the stages relatively easily. However, you can also change her for any other DPS that has some sort of synergy with Hugo and it should work fine. For Haru, your starting team will be Haru, Owen, Mika. Owen would be the one you'd want to mainly replace as he has less synergy with Haru compared to Mika, and ideally you'd run Cassius instead. Otherwise you can put Nia as well. Khalipe also work as Haru can trigger her heaven cards. So as I said before, Kayron is one of the units I'm less familiar with, so I'm not sure what other alternatives you can run. However, for his basic starting team for him, Kayron, Ray, Mika should work. This covers all the 5-star units in the game. Just know that while I offer some basic teams, you should definitely explore more with the units you have for what type of teams you can build. That's it for me. This is my first video, so let me know if you guys enjoyed it, what I can improve upon, and what other stuff you'd like to see me cover in this game. I also play E7, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless, so let me know if you'd like to see some content for those. I might start streaming this game as well here and or on Twitch, so drop a follow. I'd appreciate if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.